Welcome back to Threshold of Revelation, episode 23, or session 23, episode for Dark Skies, entitled Cosmic Horror. Last session, the group continued to play around with, started to play around with statues, and we continue with that. So, in immediate response to seeing weird glowing eyes in the shadows, they immediately remove the statue and shut that shit. Right away. No thanks. They do not want any of that. Leaving you back to where we were trying to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, looking at the combos that Andy wrote down, I'm a pretty big fan of 1, 2, 4.
Hold on.
I feel like ludicrous.
1, 2, 4. Okay. Is that what we're doing?
I'm not stopping.
Sure. Why not? I stand back. Where's
So, on the right side, the far left door opens. You would see directly from this line of sight that there is a spiked wall. Looking at it, cognitive of the strange funhouse room on the opposite side, this room does not appear to have the strange, maligned nature of the not so fun slide towards Doom. It just seems that there is a spike trap at the end.
Facing us?
No, it looks like it's facing, like, you know how the last one, it kind of came up from the bottom and hit towards the north wall? This one's on the north wall, and it looks like it would slide down into the south wall.
Okay.
Hey, boys? Yes.
I can check it out.
Okay.
I got some hit points. I'm going to cautiously walk on these walls. They appear walkable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No funhouse.
No funhouse.
Slip on in here to see what's going on.
Okay. You would see very similarly shaped to the last chamber. Doesn't look like there are any signs of anyone having been in here. Nothing that you can kind of really tell. There does look like there's dark staining on the spikes, especially on and around the center portion.
Like old blood, presumably.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of old gore stained on the blades. And as you kind of come around, you kind of do like a quick, to see if the blades will shoot out like normal. They do not. It doesn't seem like there's an activation here. They do go all the way up to the ceiling. When you look down the way, you'll see that there's a door that has been opened, and there are a bunch of bones on the ground. It looks like probably two people's worth of bones laying on the ground. On the wall on the other side of the door, shackled to the wall is what appears to be a sword. In its scabbard, kind of shackled to the wall with like chains similar to the chains that grabbed a hold of our boy,
The best boy.
the best boy.
Does it look safe in there?
There's a sword shackled to the wall.
You say sword?
Yeah. Stop. It's shackled to the wall in the incinerator room.
Well, it's not in the incinerator room. It's on the incinerator room's right beyond that. It would be the room after that. So basically, here's the door, right? Yeah, that's fine. Here's the door, and then here's where the sword is. It's on this wall. So go ahead and just make a survival roll. We're gonna have our CSI moment because I explained it pretty well, I think, but I don't know how to.
I don't see the door you're talking about.
It's this one right here.
This door is open.
Yep, door's open. That leads into the incinerator room.
Yeah.
And the sword's like right here.
Yep, it's on the wall.
It's in here with us. Okay.
Yeah, next to it.
Sorry, I thought you meant I could see it through the door in the incinerator room. And going in there was going to set us all off again. Survival, you said.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything.
So yeah, bad survival roll. You don't know why these people are dead.
I'd take a guess. It's probably because they tried to grab the sword.
Ooh, that's a good
Cause the
guess.
trap to come out and kill us.
That might be it.
And I really want the sword is the problem, boys.
Well, I'll just step over here and you do what you got to do.
But I don't want to die. Again.
I'm gonna
Actually, I
step
haven't
back
died
out.
yet.
What'd you say, Tony?
I'm stepping back out. I stepped in, but I'm gonna step back out.
Just gonna live out here.
I mean, whereabouts is the sword? Here?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if we're real quick, you could stand on the other side inside the incinerator room, grab the sword from in there. We put the code in.
It's kind of in the middle of the wall space, so you'd have to kind of reach about 4 or 3-ish, 2.5, 3 feet.
He's tall enough. Grab it, go into the incinerator room, switch the codes, and then he can come out that door.
Well, it's shackled by chains, so it looks like it's pretty secure in there. Is what I'm also trying
You
to
couldn't,
relate.
you couldn't pull it from the sheath on the wall.
You could try.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It's for
Yeah,
the dog.
you would definitely need a longer reach if you're trying to do it from outside. But yeah,
Gotcha.
Got a climbing kit?
I've got a grappling hook.
I mean, that's fine, but you need something to put on the ceiling to act as your fulcrum.
I could Giant Smite and get the bonuses for that for a minute and try to get the sword out that way.
I'll watch. I'm
Doesn't give me
intrigued.
any bonus to not die, but
Yeah, I don't give you a bonus for that either. But I'll watch. It sounds entertaining.
thought process. I really want this sword, but I don't want to, die.
You haven't even asked anything about the sword. You just want a sword that's chained to the wall.
If it's chained to the wall, it's gotta be cool.
I mean,
There's a reason it's
Says the
changed
guy who had a cursed weapon last time, right?
And I can see through. This door's open too.
Mhm.
Okay, so I can see in there, and I can see some kind of being all the way in there.
Oh, that's good. That's helpful. Why don't you ask?
so just to make sure that map descriptions are kind of pointed out, it's actually shadow that you would see. I know
Okay,
you
gotcha.
can see the map, but I haven't put any obfuscation, just so you know that that door is open. It's
Okay,
almost like
gotcha,
it's almost like a mist wall that you'd have to pass through.
Gotcha. Elden Ring vibes.
Hey, did he find a secret?
Looking at the sword, I'll
Okay.
ask about it. What is it? Does it look like a specific style sword, or like two-handed, one-handed?
No, so the handle actually looks like it is wrapped in human flesh. The pommel appears to be a nugget of just like unworked gemstone with kind of coarse metal-like affections kind of on the base of it, which seem to have been ground into the metal of the hilt underneath the human flesh. Peering out of the human flesh, you can see small little pointy barbs of steel kind of coming out, as if you were to grab the hilt, it would cause your hands to be lacerated or pinioned by the points. The sword guard appears to be made out of adamantine, and it looks like it has kind of etched throughout it very strange looking far plane glyphs set inside of the sheath. The sheath is bland and unassuming, is a blade, you presume. But the kind of black leather of the unassuming scabbard is very simply worked. It doesn't look like it was manufactured to be kind of ornate or designed or anything. It's just a very simple container for the weapon.
You had me at human flesh.
Is the scabbard holding up to time better than the other things we found down here?
Everything about the weapon is holding up to time better than all the stuff you found down here.
Okay.
What are we thinking? Put our noggins together, Ether. What are we thinking we could get the sword out with?
Hammer a pin into the ceiling and then tie a rope around it and stand back around the corner and pull it out.
As you do look at it, you would notice that on the wall near that weapon, and all around it there do appear to be kind of small little like divots in the stone.
Yeah, that's definitely the trap activator. That's definitely we activate the trap and die if we
All around it, but not hitting the sword itself. There's no marks on the scabbard.
No marks on the scabbard, no marks on the sword.
Okay.
So if the spike trap goes off, the sword goes right between them.
You would presume, yeah.
How far off the wall does it hang?
It's about 3 feet off the ground, and it's about, let's say in length, probably only about 3 feet total.
Like distance from the wall that it's hanging on. Like, is it hanging at an angle? Like,
Oh, no, it's perfectly straight down. Like, so the blade's pointed down, the sword hilt is
it's completely like flat against the wall, or is
completely
it stuck
flat.
out?
And you
2,
haven't
3
touched
inches?
you haven't touched it yet. But
Correct.
based on the chain's tautness, it looks like there's not much in the way of wiggle room.
So it's 2 or 3 inches off the wall.
I would say it's like flush, like the you mean the scabbard?
I think
The
he means
sword
off the
overall.
floor.
Oh,
No, off of the wall.
yeah, it's
The
not.
thickness of the sword plus the scabbard, every piece of it.
No, I understand. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, from
It is
wall to
thinner
there.
than a humanoid arm.
Yes, correct. I understand what you mean now. Sorry. Yeah, I think me and Shodi had the same misconception of what you were saying. But yeah, I now know what you're saying. The
You could
sword's
look at
the sword's dimension is that it is off of the wall at its ultimate end, a few inches at most. So it's wall, a few inches of sword, and then nothing.
because you could plan out where the pits are in the wall and reach in between them, and only get crushed a little bit.
No, it does look like due to the sword's girth, it's not massively wide. I would
Mhm.
say, pretty stereotypical longsword, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Just as a quick test, stand inside the
Potato
door,
flesh.
reach over, grab it, let the spike trap go off, grab the sword and run.
That sounds like math to me.
Sword's gonna grab you back.
Ah, probably, but it's not my hand. Except
Right.
I'm watching. I'm just here for the ideas.
I could also try to grappling hook the sword to yank the sword out.
With how close it is to the wall, that's gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
Said I'll watch. And you said we can't actually see through that other door.
Yeah, so this
No.
door at the very bottom that you can actually see through on the map, it's, for now, is just kind of misty.
Gotcha.
So we see an open door frame,
Yeah,
not a door in it.
and it looks like you can walk into it like a hallway.
Kind of how the stairs have been.
Yes,
Impenetrable
Okay.
darkness.
correct.
Okay. I really want this sword, but we might have to leave it for the sake of getting out of here.
Let's get the boys first.
Yeah, go get the boys. Let them know we have another path while I
How
stare
many
at this
bones
sword.
are there by that sword?
2 dead
No,
bodies.
people.
Were,
two people.
Nobody happens to have like a spell that moves objects, do they?
A spell that moves objects.
Like
We found a
Mage
doorway.
Hand?
Hold on.
Appears to be coated in the mystical darkness.
I really
Inside
want
the
the sword.
incinerator room.
My tail is wagging at full speed right now at the
I
sword.
know, don't do it. It's like that raw meat they put in front of. Don't eat it.
It's a potential exit.
what are we doing?
Could lock us in somewhere.
He's getting the boys while I'm looking at the sword.
Okay. If we go in there, I could cast Identify on the sword as a ritual.
You have to handle the sword to be able to identify it.
I'm not doing that.
That's out.
Fuck that.
Fair enough.
All right.
Alright. Looking at the spikes, does it look like certain death if I get caught in them? Like
If
I'm
it's-
100% dead?
If it's as bad as the one in the other chamber, which we discussed, the damage potential that Uther would have been able to gauge, it's somewhere around 10d12 damage that'll be dealt to you
Oh yeah, I could mega die from that.
upon receipt.
I could mega die from that. Got this new adamantite shield, and what better to go with a new shield than a new sword?
You could get lucky, and it could just be 10 damage though.
That's true. I could get really lucky. And I mean, if I do die, I just become a ghost.
Yeah,
So the trade-off is there. I'd lose XP, but I'd get cool new sword.
I will let you know. Ghost can also be absolutely just devastated by physical things. You're not immune to physical damage.
Yeah. Oh no, but the damage wouldn't roll over, would it? Like
Is that
No.
if all the
bad?
damage.
No, it wouldn't.
That's
roll,
what I was thinking.
It wouldn't roll over, but you'd still be a ghost, so you'd still have to try and grab the sword again. And remember, these spike traps don't take forever to reset. It's
Yeah.
bam, and then bam.
There's
It'll be a
there's a
double.
reset time.
Not much of one. It's
There
literally.
is one.
Yeah. So okay.
It's got
All right.
20 feet. It's got to move.
I mean, it's.
Okay.
60 feet to get back there.
Yeah, I guess
20
that.
down, 20 back, 20 in.
Yeah, I guess that math checks out.
You just got to
So-
survive the first hit.
True.
Which you're not gonna do,
Yeah.
but you can try.
As much as I really want this sword, I don't really feel like dying.
Just keep in mind, Andy has a hard cutoff at 7. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save the code. There's a potential exit down here, though, on this code.
I'm interested in going through that door, to be honest, already. Because this has a cool sword. What if that has a cooler sword? Because it was protected by fire.
There's not a mirror to this room. I'm sure of that because I've seen all of the opposite of this, right?
Yeah, so the opposite of this, you did not have a door possible because the spike trap was
Yeah.
on the other side.
This particular spot does not mirror.
Right. So this would have been a spike trap, not a sword and cool guy or a cool door.
Okay, and there's still 2 doors we have not opened at all, correct?
Correct. But it does look like this does seem to step into the room with the burning flame. And it does
But-
look like it leads somewhere you have never seen before. There's no mirror to
Right.
that either.
Boys? Calls?
I personally say we go in, because if I stand here any longer, I'm grabbing the sword and probably dying.
Find the exit, get the hell out.
There's 2 rooms we've not seen at all, but there is a potential exit where we are.
How do? Yeah, let's at least check it out.
That's the thing. If we go through that door, there's the potential that we can't come back. Because it's covered in the same mystical darkness like the stairs.
Zach, I see you. If you want to go ahead and jump into the Zoom at any moment, just let me know.
I mean,
Sorry.
it's fine with me.
No.
We're on because isn't this place is sinking, right? Like that's what the timer's for.
I don't know.
It's in the water?
Our boat's probably leaving. I mean,
Oh,
this
the
might also
timer's
be
for the
sinking.
boat.
Could be both.
Okay, sorry. I thought this was like flooding, and that's what the timer was for.
There are 11
not
other
sure what the timer
combinations
was for.
left. We're never going to be able to do all of them.
And there's no telling what we'll have to fight that's in the other rooms.
If we see a possible exit, do you think we should go for it?
You know at least one door you've opened, discounting the rest of them, has monsters in it. So it may not be impossible for the other ones to as well.
Zach, for jumping in, we're down to only 2 blind rooms left. There's a potential exit where we are, and a probably very cursed sword that sets off a trap.
That I really want.
Really wants it.
For the description of the
Neat.
sword once more, it's the hilt is bound in human flesh. The crossguard is made out of adamantine. The pommel appears to be made out of some strange gemstone that is very much just cursed looking. Yeah, that's where we're living right now.
We're in the top right corner.
Got it.
Half of us are.
Well, far be it from me to stand between him and a sword.
How many of us do you think it would take to stop that spike trap? Kite shield's a go-go.
Would the adamantite shield stop it?
It'd stop the piercing damage.
You have that.
You're still going to take it all as bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not answering your question.
Yeah, we're thinking out loud. We're thinking out loud.
No, that's fine. It sounded like it was a question dedicated
We're
to me.
spitballing here.
I'm just making sure.
No.
If you want to give it a go, I'm down. I'm down to fuck. But like, no, probably not. Good idea.
How tall are the kite shields?
What kite shields?
The stone ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they're-
Does Silas also have a massive shield?
They're kind of tower shields, and they're about 4 feet tall, about 2.5 feet wide.
And
Silas has 2 of them.
just stack those up on the floor right underneath the sword. That'll slow down the spike trap before it hits you. Just straddle them. Because this thing rides you along the floor, right?
Yeah, floor and ceiling. It'll go straight.
I could peek around the corner and try to mage hand the sword, unless it's very secure in a spot.
It's
pretty
chained
secure.
to a
Yeah, it's
wall.
chained to the wall.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
It's safe to walk
That
in
won't
there.
work, no.
Grabbing it, we're pretty sure is what's going to set this trap off. I'm just going to go ahead and pop through this door again and hang out.
All right. The flame, unlike last time, doesn't start kind of building up.
We're allowed to enter this way.
You've been in this room before. Yeah, the flame does not seem to be kind of rushing.
This way, if Ezekiel
boys.
dies, I get to watch it. From the splash zone.
All the fur.
The yelps.
That torch is still burning?
It's burning, but not expanding.
Yeah, it's not going nuts though.
It's safe to stand here, and there's a door that we can possibly
Go
walk
through.
through.
Yeah, if you actually kind of look at it now that you get a chance to look at it, you'll see that there are 4 glyphs around it. And it looks like the glyphs are kind of saddled on a almost like a clockwork disc that kind of spins around, or ring around the outside of like where it's mounted. And you can see that the bottom portion connects to the brazier differently than the other ones. It looks like it's being fueled by something.
Oh, this is the fire.
Yeah, this is the fire I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought you meant the door. I'm gonna
Oh,
check
no.
out this door.
Yeah, if you want to step through, you can, but looking through it is impossible. It's completely.
Right. I'm not gonna step through it. I'm gonna look around it and see if it's marked in any way.
No different than any of the other doors you passed through.
What do you think, Bodhi? Do we gotta leave the sword? You're the smart man here.
I wouldn't mess with it, frankly, but I mean, it's your
Live your best
call.
life.
That's true.
Where is the sword? Let me take a good look at this sword.
It's over here on this wall.
Your corpse. It would be just on your character's left, just strapped to the wall.
You said it's made of human skin on the sheath or on the scabbard.
The hilt.
Barely.
The,
Just
the
barely.
the
A
scabbard's
small
just like darkened leather. The hilt, the actual wrap around the hilt, is the human.
Just a small amount of human skin.
And barbs.
Yeah, there are metal barbs that kind of peek out of it at like points on the grip. So if you were to take it in your hand, it would actually wound you.
Nix, did you try to identify the sword?
Well,
have
I
to
was
touch
told that I have to hold it, and Nick said,
Uh.
no freaking way.
Pretty sure. I'll double check identifies description.
You don't have detect magic, do you, to see if it's even magical?
One object
It's
that
not-
you must touch
it's not worn by
throughout
time.
the casting of the spell. Target.
With casting the spell. Gosh, it's so tense.
It is very likely magical because it's not been affected by time the same way the shield and the
Yeah.
other magic items we found have been.
This is extremely tense.
And it looks pretty securely down to the wall.
Adamantine
It's in there.
chains. Yep. Looks like it's held pretty tightly to the wall. It's about, I would say, 3 chains, kind of crossing one another in a
And
very.
we're still sure, Steve, you have mold earth and not shaped stone, right?
Yes.
That's you gotta work on that, man.
I came with the archetype. I didn't choose it.
You're doing great.
Shaped stone, you could have just put a hole in the wall behind it.
Yay!
Take it this way. Free sword.
What do I see? Is this a door here? Do I see something I'm not supposed to see?
No, yeah.
Yeah, that door's open.
It's
You
open.
don't-
There's a shadow.
Not supposed to be able to
You
see
can't
through it.
There's kind of a shadow place there. I didn't want to confuse you too
Okay.
hard with
I do get confused.
wall-like objects.
I'm investigating the shadow.
It looks pass-throughable.
Yeah, as far as I could tell, not the best idea. I'm just gonna cast guidance and go stand behind Uther in
Get
Get the splash zone.
cowering position.
Out of the splash zone. Okay. Anybody else
Toggle
moving through?
on.
Everybody get through in case
Or-
I make a bad decision
Or are
here.
you waiting for the Ezekiel bomb to go off?
Should we get through?
I would say
Did
so.
they go through the black door?
No, they haven't went through the black door yet. They're just on the splash zone.
There's something new back here. So
What's happening? I don't even know what's going on.
Go to
uh,
the top right corner
come-
and then walk
yeah,
past
come
the-
around past Ezekiel.
Yes, Ezekiel.
Hi guys.
There's so little I can do for you.
Really good
I want you to
without
know that.
Can we? So this way is not.
That way's barred.
That was barred. Okay.
We've already been that way.
You've been on the other
Okay.
side of it. Yeah, it's where the
I'm
manacle.
just trying to find some space between me and Ezekiel.
Here, have some guidance in case you have to do some sort of skill check. Ping.
for
I gave it to
Ezekiel.
him once. I don't know if it stacks.
It doesn't.
Oh, you already gave it to him? Whatever. He's just extra guy. He's got 2 voices in his ears.
Just hope
Your
for the
voices in my
best.
ears telling me this is a bad idea.
Obviously.
I really want the sword, but I
Ooh.
don't want to die at the same time.
I will have access to Stone Shape at 7th level.
God damn it.
Soon.
Then we'll be unstoppable. Once a day.
Jerry, I do want to point out I'm not Chody. I'm not going to fall for your bullshit.
It's a viable option. It's less than 5 feet thick.
No, yeah, you're right. I will fall for some of your bullshit. But you will not entomb beholders.
Slowly crush a beholder to death over 2 weeks.
He's so happy.
How much fun did that game have? You're still talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
Saying.
Hey, I'm still going to give you sass about it. It's adorable.
Super fun.
Chody best.
I guess we could just walk through the door. I'll fight my baser instinct to touch the cursed weapon.
Who's going
Sure.
first?
Last
I
chance.
will. No, I'll
we
go
might
through
never
with
see
my.
this cool sword again.
I know.
Who's going first?
I will.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Glad it was me.
DC 13.
22.
Yep. So as you step through, you realize that your foot, as you're stepping forward, steps onto nothing. And you kind of put your foot in the air and kind of stop instead of putting your weight down on that forward foot. And you realize as you finally step through, you can now see why that's the case. Looks like there's a pit right in front of you. And there's a stone chasm that goes out over this pit. That kind of goes around to a landing point. The thing that you take in as you finally pass through and you're able to kind of acclimate your sight past the shadow is that beneath you is unending darkness filled with starlight. Above you is unending darkness filled with starlight. It appears that this space is walled off, but only so much to the degree that the floor and what you presumed was the ceiling level would match. So that stone wraparound on the outside, it's about 8-10 feet high, and it floats over nothing.
Neat.
There's a big landing platform with a sun symbol, and a bridge out from that to a floating center. There's nothing holding it up that you can perceive. Surrounding it are 2 massive floating glyphs of what appear to be winged snakes. And in the center of that space is a coiled dragon of an older style of draconic stylings, and a magical glyph encircling a standing creature.
That's a dragon. Oh, the dragon's on the floor. Oh,
Yep.
I thought the creature was the dragon.
The creature that you see standing there, who's now looking in your direction with very alien-looking eyes, is about 11 feet tall. About 6 massive tentacles seem to coil and twist around where a jaw or mouth would be. Its head is cephalopod-esque. Its hands seem to be missing a digit, 3 fingers and a thumb, and are long and look like they have an extra bend in them. So there's actually a double elbow in the arm length. It wears an all-black robe that's as dark as midnight. It actually seems to stand out against the darkness of the sky it stands against. And as it looks over in your direction, you hear a voice enter your head, Uther, that you recognize as the one that emanated from the throat of the strange zombie. Finally, it's been so long since I've seen someone.
Yeah, I'm sure it gets lonely down here.
Do you move in?
No, I'm going to bar this door for a second.
Oh, so yeah, the others don't see you. and the door
Right.
the door for you is open, and you can see that it goes into the same room, except that the flame of the brazier in this aspect is kind of like a ghostly white,
Okay.
similar to the colors of the runes and the glyphs.
I attempt to reach back through. Can I pass?
Mm-mm.
It's
You're reaching into the other room, but there's like a second copy of it. There's a space that you've entered into. Now you're in a totally different space, and looking back into that room, where they should be, they are not.
Okay.
You'd see that there's kind of a. Actually, I didn't think
Can we
about
see
how
the
I.
torch?
I didn't think about how I was going to deal with this. Make a perception roll.
Is it site based?
It is.
20.
You would actually see outlines of your compatriots as you would recognize them in their ghost form.
Okay.
So the presumption is that you've walked.
Okay. I'm gonna try to block this so they can't get through for a moment.
Okay. Was anybody going to follow behind him? Again, there was no instruction not to.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so Ezekiel,
Sure.
as you're moving through, you feel like because of positioning, you're being shunted out of it because you are still standing in the space. Your body can't manifest in this other worldly space. As Uther
to the-
stands there.
To the guy in the middle, is there a way back out of here now that I'm in?
We will work together to break the shackles that bind me, as we agreed.
Okay, so
We're definitely
One-
in the right place.
once they're in, we're in. Until we get you out of there. That's what I'm understanding.
He would nod.
All right, that's what we signed up for. And I'm gonna cling to the wall and brace them as they come through, so they don't have to make the deck save.
The immediate thing you'll notice is that the entirety of the walls in this space seem to have this weird kind of transient kind of gloss to them. And as you kind of touch it, you feel that your spider climb is not working.
Of course, why would it? Okay, then I just brace myself on everything and keep them from falling.
It doesn't work for the Ulithard either, so.
Whatever is solid, I'm gripping that and catching them as they come through.
Okay. So, as Ezekiel steps through, no save needed. Uther, you kind of grab a hold of him as his foot kind of hangs over the edge and kind of put him to right. Ezekiel, you're taking everything in as Uther took it in. Sans the fear of possibly falling into infinity.
Gotcha.
Move to the platform.
Okay.
He starts directing traffic, and if that's the case, if Uther, you're doing that, you guide everybody through, and everybody's able to make their way in.
Step it in.
Oh god, no! He fell to his death.
Oh, lads, we're 2 for 2 with tentacle faces and dungeons.
Oh god.
Right?
Yep, Silas, you're dead.
See,
Since that
Silas,
thought-
don't stand there.
We're going
Silas,
over
don't stand
here.
there.
Since that thought was in your head, you actually hear a voice, Rolling Rock, that says, "Oh, will you show them to me?"
Yeah, sure. I'll try to remember the mind flare as best I could. Even
Okay.
though, wait, no, we can't remember it. Didn't he like erase our memories?
Yeah, you wouldn't actually
Correct.
know about the tentacles.
Oh, it's a memory.
It's a memory that was.
Yeah, sure. Wait, huh?
Feels familiar.
Oh, Rolling Rock, talking nonsense.
What are you talking about?
You'll
This is the this is the first tentacle face we've ever met. I was hoping for that exchange so that I could try and catch you in your own bullshit.
He erased our memories.
They erased your memories. That's correct.
Never seen one of these before.
So,
And even still, if you had remembered that, this one is very much different. It is very, very tall, and there
He's
are
blue.
also that, and there are also I mean, he's 11 foot. It's not like he's very tall for his species.
Yeah, that guy was a squid. This guy's an octopus.
you guys remember that guy whose name was Bluto? We turned blue.
Okay.
Him being blue reminded me of that.
That's
Fuck that
him.
loser.
This is what happened to him. He went through
Metamorphosis.
well, no, I'm
What
trying to
an
think of
idiot.
what it's called. Cephalomorphosis, I think, for illithid.
Ceramorphosis.
Ceramorphosis, that's it, right?
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Ask him about the sword.
Yeah, actually, do you know that really
Refine.
cool sword that's out there?
I do not know what is beyond the walls of this space.
Yeah. I was gonna get it, but it looked like a death trap, so I just didn't get it.
How did you enter this space?
I was placed here.
Like supernaturally? Like Just literally placed here from wherever you were?
Oh no, it was during a conflict. I was, by a certain manner, bested by the one who built this temple.
What crime did you commit to be imprisoned in such a way?
Losing a conflict with someone who had the power to bind me here.
There was a dragonborn? Is that our understanding?
That's correct.
Do you happen to know which one? Or is it anybody of note?
I believe that he kind of stares off strangely, his tentacles kind of fluttering a bit. I forgot his name.
Is
So what do we need to
anyone
break to get out of here?
Gestures
anyone else?
down towards the runes on the ground. You must break the magic that binds me here.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, is anyone else suddenly in the mood for calamari?
Oh,
I hate
Oh,
seafood.
that's
I
gross.
do hate seafood.
I love seafood, just not like calamari.
Is it as simple as breaking it? Or does this require more technical means?
I'll be completely honest, I don't know how to break it myself. If I didn't need your assistance in this, I probably would have been done with it long ago.
Well, he's probably trained in Arcana. So,
Right?
His arcana knowledge mainly deals with the far plane and things he can't actually tap into anymore.
you have to take a good long look at these
That's-
runes on the
yeah,
ground
Is Arcana
and try
something
not
we
to
would
look
need
him in the eye.
to figure this out?
That
Let's all put
one
our
that
brain
he's
together
scoring
to
is
look at
better than
this.
our 0.
Because I can do a borrowed knowledge and talk to the ancestors and get the Arcana skill for a time.
I could also do it as well with Jack of all trades.
You don't have to be trained in it to try and figure it
I'll
out.
try it without training it.
I'm just gonna scratch at it.
There you go.
Let's go.
Zach! You go, Zach!
It's like, oh, it's obvious. You
I
just get
could
an
do better.
eraser.
Uther, as you kind of reach down to
Dumbass.
kind of touch it, you feel like there's a force, something that's kind of presence there. It feels solid, but I would say the main thing that it also feels is staticky. It's like there's this strange buffer space in between you and being able to touch the pattern. He looks at
My
you. And,
mouth-
he looks at you, and as you think the he goes, "I know, right?" As you hear that in your head,
My mouth hits
I-
it. My mouth
Need
hits
to
the
hit
battery.
hard?
Can I step on it?
you try to, but there's like a space that's in between you and the pattern that's like a staticky kind of buffer point. It's
Okay,
like
so it's like a cylinder. It's not.
Yeah.
I can't touch the pattern, but
Yeah.
there's this
it kind of just
barrier.
goes up
Okay.
for undetermined amount of time and or space.
Batteries, right?
Alright.
What is? I would ask the creature, what do these runes mean?
If I knew, I would probably have some idea on how in knowing how to disabuse myself of my current predicament. Is what-
So they bind you here then?
correct.
While you guys are doing that, I am gonna
I remember.
flip your Arcana checks. I will do the borrowed knowledge.
Okay.
Love,
And
they
then,
nailed it.
so I'll summon up another dwarf, spectral, of course, wearing robe and a staff. The ends of his beard kind of look like wispy, with kind of like a ghost flame. We're kind of speaking in dwarvish, and I'm pointing at the runes, and he's kind of like rubbing his chin.
I will say in this
No,
space.
no, hitting it didn't work.
No, I will say in this space, the ghostly aspect that you bring forward to speak to is more like tangible. It's almost like they're more solid. Like it's not just an ethereal construct. It seems that it is a construct that is supposed to be ethereal, but because of its placement here, seems more solid, more physical.
Are we in one of the 7 or 13 hells?
No.
Okay.
Does the spell go off? Because
Yeah. Yeah, it
all right,
happens.
sweet.
It just it's more
Because we're on a
the,
different plane.
Palpable.
the spirit is more palpable.
all right.
And now that you have Arcana, do you want to roll Arcana to
I'm
understand
gonna
why
do an
that's the
Arcana
case?
let's do it. And I try. If he's more tangible, I'm also gonna try to give him a hug. I haven't seen
All right.
this guy in ages.
Yeah, he feels more physical.
I still only got a 14.
So with a 14, the things that you're kind of streaming through in your head, you would know that you're not in the material plane. That ship has sailed. You've moved into a pocket dimension, or rather another pocket dimension that appears to be closely associated with the ethereal plane, the plane of death. So kind of a space between the living and
Said
the
this here
dead.
last time. God damn it.
I mean, there's a lot of ghost shit happening in this region of the world, okay? Jeez, the Janarans have a
We're
very
like
crazy
half a continent away.
they have a very crazy fixation on death. But with the 14, you would know that the magical circle that you're looking at does appear to be a warding. And it appears to be a warding against both ways living things.
Oh no.
Hmm.
Ezekiel, you should have gotten the sword.
I wasn't gonna say shit, but yeah, I was about to say, oh, you sure you don't want to
I knew my innate instincts were correct. Why did I doubt myself?
kill your physical body?
Yeah, cast Mage Hand and see if it can pass through the barrier.
The mage hand actually dispels the second it kind of touches the barrier as it kind of moves in that space, and you would realize that it appears to not only extend its anti-life function, it also seems to extend that effect to the magic created by life.
So, do we think just hitting the circle repeatedly with weapons would work?
I tried that.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
That did not work.
Alright.
What was this guy's name? Did he introduce himself?
He has not. But as you think that thought of like what is this individual's name comes to the surface thoughts, he would like immediately implant the thought in your mind as if you knew it the entire time, and the name Urslot would appear in your head.
Urslot?
Correct.
Urslot, are you bound to the very point that you stand?
Correct.
Can you move around whatsoever? Okay.
I can move semi-freely, but once I get within a few feet of the barrier, it becomes impossible for me to progress.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that living things can pass through this, Urslot. I don't suppose you've died at any point, have you?
Due to my nature, it is quite impossible for me to do such.
Have you attempted to bring one of your undead minions down here since they're not alive?
I have. Some of the individuals I spoke with were not as willing to consent to assist me as you were. Once they expired due to their own folly, I did what I could to make use of them. Some of them did actually wish to do me harm. Others wished to aid me. I believe the last ones that did were the ones that got the closest, but they did not fare with the strange dragon statue outside as well as you did.
Yeah, we're pretty
Yes, it always
clever.
works. Any chance you could turn yourself into an inanimate object?
I'm sorry, I apologize. These capabilities that you speak of seem to be very supernatural in comparison to what I am capable of doing.
Yeah, I'm not too well versed in the magics
Just
myself.
for
I just hit
giggles,
things.
I'm gonna look at him and like just forgive me for a moment. I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation and try to sort of like adjust his collar.
You can't manipulate anything inside
Nothing?
of. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like I'm trying to think of the name of the spell.
Just testing.
Anti-magic field.
Globe of Invulnerability / anti-magic field. Yeah.
Okay.
Does it happen to be a language that anything is written in?
No, there are no languages. It's mostly just pictographs.
Does anyone want to take one for the team and go ghost mode?
Now I wish I had just died trying to get the sword. Then I would have a cool sword and helping my buddy here.
Urslot says, in response to the inquiries to his capabilities, he says, most of my abilities deal with the mental. I don't really function well with magical displays in the material, unless they are being dealt through a medium.
It's going to cost us 4,000 experience to die.
At least. Well, I don't know. We're all at different points.
I'm the lowest, so.
Too bad I didn't grab a sword.
All right. I wish I could go back. I could go back so hard. I'm gonna look to Reithroth. You did try to go back, right? We can't go back and get the sword.
Can't go back.
Urslot, where are we?
So I've not been able to identify the exact location, but as I understood it, and I recall the name now, the individual known as Rakosh bound me here by slipping me through space. It was interesting. I had initially, in our first conflict, attempted to retreat. His fortress upon the back of the Zaraton was quite splendid, to be sure, and I had recognized my folly in attempting to engage him in conflict. He chased me down, and he found me inside of the Astral Sea, and, well, once he had me there, he manipulated my silver thread to tether me to this space. I feel like I could manipulate myself much easier if I were allowed to have connectivity outside of this space. It seems that if this ward or whatever were to have been broken, then my silver thread would reconnect with the sea and I would be able to rejoin the stars. But at
What's
this
silver thread?
if you ask him what a silver thread is, he will go through the
Like
process
astral projection.
of explaining that if you are inside of the astral sea, it's kind of a connection to it. If you are not from the astral sea and you are moving through the astral sea, there's a tether that connects you back to where you were, your physical body, if you're moving in an astral state. And if that is severed, you die. But he's saying,
came dangerously close to being able to do that.
yeah, what he's saying is his isn't severed; it's just buffeted. Like it's not allowing him to reconnect the way he wants to.
We need one to take one for the team, boys. I'm open to get stabbed.
I don't know that that's true. Hang on. Urslot, you've had some time to ponder this. Has anything occurred to you as to how this buffering could be at least interrupted?
I have had plenty of time. The only way I can think is if someone can get into the space between you and I and disrupt the circle. Once it were done, I think my silver thread would reconnect and I could just dance from here without issue. Keeping in mind, his mouth isn't moving, his tentacles are kind of moving, but these thoughts are popping into your head, so some of you may not be hearing some of the conversations because some of them are like direct links, but if you're in your mind thinking, I want everyone else to hear this, they are kind of jutting.
I'm just like having a chat while I'm, you
Yeah.
know.
Are the spirits conjured by spirit guardians, are they actual spirits or more just like divine energy?
Divine energy, they are spell.
Okay.
What you guys XP at?
I take one for the team here. This is me.
What are you
For
at?
sure. I'm at 16-4.
18 to 7.
Yeah,
7.
I'm only losing 2, so it's not a big deal.
I'm also at 16.4, but I don't think I've been tracking the XP as I.
You should not be at the same level as Ezekiel.
That's what I was thinking. So we'll fix that later. What about if we reach out to the boss? They had a thing to where they could open.
Where's the soul
portals.
well?
Yeah,
Where's the soul well?
we can't reach out to him without the soul well.
Correct.
No. The thing only works at Soul Wells.
Yeah, the
There
load
was one
star.
in here, but we didn't find it, correct?
Yeah, do you check the load star now?
I mean, we're in the astral sea, so it's probably...
You're not in the
Yeah,
astral
water.
sea.
Oh.
We're on a different plane.
there's
We're on a
another
pocket dimension
pocket
plane.
dimension. Sure, let's take a look at the old...
Yeah, it's literally crazy right now. Like it's like everywhere is a soul well, but it's
oh,
not
sweet.
it's not seeming to activate. Like if you kind of pull it out to test it, it doesn't seem to activate as if this were a place you could activate the star. Soul wells are direct
Tell you to get the
connections.
Cold Death Sword.
So this is, but is not a soul well.
So the ethereal plane is kind of a soul-ish, or like a soul well-ish thing. It's not a soul well. It is. It's basic. I'm trying to
And a
think.
false positive.
Like
Yeah,
a
it's a
soul
false.
ocean.
It's a false positive. I'm trying to think of a soul ocean is kind of closer to accurate. Like it, and that's a very good way of putting it. A soul well has drinkable water, and a soul ocean has salty water that's not drinkable. That's the
No,
best.
thank you.
That's the best way I can kind of describe it as
And
an
fish.
analogy.
Everybody gets a sip.
Fish fucking it.
Yeah, fish do fucking water. Gross. That's why I drink Coca-Cola.
Soulfish.
Sell out.
All right, boys.
How do you want to do this?
Somebody.
There's
I
not a
mean,
painless
Swift blow
way.
to the noggin?
Whatever the quickest way, I guess.
Teamwork. Everybody put a blade on him.
Yeah, Game of Thrones style. Everybody stab me in the heart.
Just
So-
put your head down and count to 3.
If
No.
the
I won't
effort
do it. I
is
won't do it.
murdering your friend, is that right? This is the second game I've ran in like very recent history
Why
where
can't we murder that guy?
the team is
Can't
like,
reach him.
Can't reach him.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
Man, he doesn't know how to get back up.
Wish I could have just died for the sword now. I regret so many decisions.
If that's the case, Ezekiel, your physical body will die, and your gear will be kind of left out, and your soul form hopefully is up to snuff on leveling.
It's
And
not. I haven't touched it.
yeah, so you probably should get to work on that. But yeah, Ezekiel's physical body dies, and then Ezekiel's ghostly form appears.
Nix, you should skin him and make a coat because you get real cold outside.
No,
Didn't he already get a coat?
that's gross.
Think about how warm Ezekiel is all the time.
Right?
Are we talking about skinning the corpse
Yes,
of your
Yeah.
very recently dead friend and
yes.
having
We
the
literally,
warmth there?
see his soul step out of it. It's not him anymore.
He's
You-
not using it.
You would also
I
notice
feel bad.
that his
Yeah,
soul
right.
is also very much more tangible in this space.
Punch it.
Okay.
Do you try to pass through the buffer?
Yes.
Like, has guidance on his soul.
You succeed. Once on the other side, you see the creature's head kind of tilt to the side,
The fuck?
and as he tries to communicate with you, you don't seem to hear anything except for kind of like a weird kind of squishy sound. And then he kind of raises his eyes, like kind of in curiosity, and then kind of steps forward to like look at you more closely, kind of being stopped by the static buffer that's between you and it, as you're kind of standing like on the circle itself. So do you wish to try and manipulate what aspect are you for Ghost?
Poltergeist.
So you can actually start fucking around with the dirt, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you start messing the symbol up?
Yep.
All right. The glowing remains, but you definitely feel the static, Bodhi, kind of shift away. And as it does, as the seal seems to have been broken, you see the creature's head kind of like tilt back up to straight forward, and kind of happy sound or feeling kind of emanates through all of your minds except for
I
Ruby.
choose it to be a sound.
Zoidberg.
Yeah. Once that sound kind of enters into your mind, you then feel like he wishes to give you a gift as a...
I'm feeling at the barrier. I was going to reach through to try to like offer him a hand if he's stepping through physically.
He's not. He's still standing there. Once the barrier like goes away, that excited sound, you presume is he's reconnected his silver
Connected.
thread.
Got it.
You can't see the silver thread because it's astral sight, not ghost sight, and we're in ghosty town.
Whatever. He picked up a dial zone. He's good.
He definitely gives you a feeling, a vibe of he wishes to reward you somehow, but you definitely kind of understand that the reward he has to offer may not be one you'd be willing to accept, and he may need to get back to you on this. The gift he offers you is joining him.
How?
Can I?
Like
can I,
literally
like-
joining him as he leaves
Is
this
this
space.
is
and
this
goes
to
the
me
astral sea.
directly?
It would be to everybody. Everybody kind of feels
Okay.
the same vibe. But
Do I still count because I'm a spirit?
oh no, you aren't hearing any of this. You very much get the vibe that the joining him thing means he is going to change you ultimately somehow.
Is this the way out of here that he was like hinting at us, or like just take us to
Oh, no, no.
alternative?
You would actually notice that the flame in the back room, like where you came from, is no longer ghost flaming anymore. It looks like the ghost barriers are now down.
Oh no.
You can just
I-
walk back out the way you came.
I
Oh,
would
sweet.
not accept going with him.
Okay. That's one for not joining the Ulatharid in his trip into the astral
Like,
sea.
It
well,
has to be
he
a whole
said-
group thing, right? It's,
He said,
Oh.
"Let me get back to you." I was like, "Let me think about it."
He'll take whoever wants to go with him.
I'll give him the vibe.
Ezekiel doesn't get the option.
Ezekiel doesn't know any conversations happening. Yep, it's like a bunch of humans were talking around like a dog.
What the fuck is Ulatharid?
Ulatharids are super illithids. Like,
Oh, Illithids. Fuck that.
So is this a one-time trip?
yeah.
He wants to take us physically
Till it
with
eats
him.
our brains.
The vibe you get is that he wishes to make you like him.
Yeah,
Oh,
by
no.
eating our brains.
Here on this plane, or where you're from?
Where I'm from.
No, I've already attained the perfect form. I'm good.
No, thank you.
Respectfully declined.
I will do my best to repay you. I do not know when that repayment will come, but I will keep an eye on you. He
Alright.
reaches out his hand, and in his hand, he appears to be holding what you don't remember, but definitely sparks a memory in your mind, a small little worm in his hand. And he reaches out to whoever's closest. Looks like Bodhi would probably be it, in physical terms, and reaches out to you to hand you the creature.
What?
Take it.
And you put it in one of the jars
Take
that
it?
already.
I put it in a jar and I write Urslot on it.
Do you
Yeah,
take one of the
jar that-
jars already has like the fluid in it?
No. Oh, if it has fluid,
Yeah, because you have these fluid jars that you don't know where they came from. So as you kind of pull them out and look at them, you see that there are similar
yeah,
creatures,
I pick one up. I was like, this.
and then you
Take
take
tequila out of those.
take one of the empty ones and then just put it in there, right? The whole time the eyes are just like confused. What is happening? Who are these people?
Wait,
Tell me,
wait.
I
First
had a
slot.
little.
First
I
slot.
had a little label. Urslot's worm.
Whoa,
Wait.
that'd be bigger.
What, Andy?
No, this is
I know.
Nick's.
I know. Go ahead.
I accidentally sprayed deodorant in my mouth. Now when I talk,
That sucks.
I can't even do it. Now
I've been there.
He's having so much fun trying to tell his fun.
I can't even do it. Wait.
I tried to
Uh,
level up my
No,
character.
No, stop talking-
Weird
stop talking about-
accent.
Accent. The Ulatharid doesn't get it.
Oh man.
He was bound long before Axe was a thing, and
Damn it.
the pun queen herself demands you stop.
Okay. One per session. One per session.
That's more than enough. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions for Urslot, he will disappear.
Good luck.
Shoo, he
Wait, how
disappeared.
do we leave? Shit.
Again, he would say the prison is broken. You should be able to exit the way that you came in,
Oh, that's good.
and you would
That could be bad.
That's good. I'm sure.
you would see him kind of do a thing, and your presumption is that he just switched off all of his brain puppets,
Oh, that's good.
and then he'll disappear.
What a nice guy.
Unless now they're just sort of free.
I tried to level up my lingering spirit and it reset the character sheet. It still got like all the information on it. It just reset it to level 1. And every time I go to it, it's like I'm remaking the character again. It's not leveling it up.
What are you doing wrong?
I don't know.
Probably
Nothing.
everything.
You've never done anything wrong. Look at
Look,
it.
I just took one from the team, okay? I didn't even get
Look
my
at
cool
it.
sword.
Also, why does it not say Ezekiel Spirit? Why are you the weird one?
You met me.
Did he have an extra character sheet at one point to like mess with
I
stuff?
see. Cancel. Discard and exit. What level are you?
It should be level 6.
Everyone, we all heard it. Jordan got startled.
Great.
Look.
So
growling at me.
what you're
Open
going
mic.
to do is you're going to go find the handout and you're going to manually enter all the things you need to enter in there.
Okay.
I've set you to level 6. Or level 6. Yeah, you just need to manually enter your stuff.
If it was Ezekiel, I'm blaming the dog.
And if you don't want to manually enter stuff that's not super important to manually enter, you can just have the handout out and just kind of have it ready. But yeah, once this has been broken, you can exit out the way you came. You'd also notice that the doors have all been kind of unhinged
Darkened.
and undarkened, so you can exit safely the way you came through.
Is the coded room still coded?
It is still coded. So the coded segment is still coded the way that you would have set it up to be.
So it has not released the unencountered monsters.
Right. And what you would notice at this too is the spike trap is not a thing that was under Urslot's
His
power.
control.
So the sword is still bound there.
Yeah, but he's a ghost.
Ghosts have a physical body. I can completely
Yeah, but he's
butcher.
got what's the word? Ghost powers. What's the word I'm looking for?
He can
So-
still take physical damage.
Poltergeist works like
I'm aware.
Mage Hand.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, Poltergeist works like Mage Hand. It's not going to.
No,
somehow-
it's still his call.
Before we do anything, I just want to be real clear. So, I think we want this is the right way, probably, or at least one right way. What exactly was 1, 2, 4? It was good, and then what was the other? Is it
Chaos.
Good, neutral. Oh,
good chaos
hmm
And death.
and
Or
death? Okay,
Moment
Well-
of death.
okay.
And that would open the right path where the shield was located. It would open up the fire pit behind it, and it would open up the door you just entered. So, real quick, just to kind of dissuade you from kind of maneuvering, because there are bad things that can still happen there, I will explain that there were a number of different successful options. The only thing that proved for it to go all the way is not choosing neutral. So there were several different paths that led to the end, with different hurdles in between. This one is probably one of the safest paths. The absolute safest path would have been 1 for good, 2 for chaos, and then 3 for
we
contemplating
tried
death.
1, 2, 3.
Do we
I'm
think
so
that the
sure we
moment of
tried
death
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we tried 1, 2, 3.
we
Sorry, 1, 2, 2. Sorry, you're right. You did try 1,
we
2,
did
2.
1, 2, 3.
I got my brain mixed up. One goes the other
Right.
direction on the other side. You're right.
Do we think that moment of death is related to one of the characters needs to die in order to progress? I'm asking the other players.
I think getting to here. I think what we did to open the cell of that guy
hmm
was going to be a necessary likelihood, no matter what we did to get to here.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think he had any impact on the puzzle whatsoever.
Because confirm that he was the one forming the shadow barriers.
Oh, no. The prison was forming the shadow barriers.
Oh,
You
it's part
broke
of the prison. Oh, okay, so breaking the room broke the prison.
Right.
Broke like the power source.
Okay.
But he had control of all the zombies?
The zombies were his. Yeah, those were his problem.
So we just hope that there weren't any other prisoners in here, and we
So
walk
was
on
he-
out of here.
He was barring us from certain areas only because it would have lengthened the amount of time it would have taken us to get to him?
No, they were on autopilot, and so that kind of quick flash of purple that happened was kind of like an acknowledgement that it was happening to him, but he didn't answer the call or take control of any of them until you were in that prison. It was more or less just kind of a, like he's kind of in a comatose state. Time's traveling a lot differently for him. He wasn't like actively, waiting for somebody to enter in. If you'd made it to a certain point, which you did, then he started to take interest, which was the third level. But yeah, that's the behind the scenes that you're getting from me. You are exiting, is that right? You're not doing anything crazy, trying to...
Yeah,
So I could
we need to
bounce.
get out.
As much as I really want the sword, yeah. I just have one question.
Mm-mm.
One single question. The Spectral Warrior feat or thing for the Poltergeist, I can put all my gear essentially on, right?
Yes.
So I'd have the armor bonus, so my AC would still be 18 or 20.
Yeah, your armor would be the same because it wasn't dexterity based, right?
No, it wasn't. Okay.
And even if it was, you have the same dex as a ghost as you did as a physical form.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, hang on. Never mind. I'm not gonna try it. 'cause I've
No
still
worries.
got probably in the back.
I was gonna say,
No
your
other
last
things.
chance. With no, we're moving out.
Nothing else. You don't want to do anything else. Anything crazy, anything silly. Nothing. Okay.
Nope, not fucking with the puzzle. All the doors are open we need. We're going up the stairs.
That makes sense. So when you do get back up to the top, what you will note is that the water has seemed to push the shrine up. It is now at the what you would consider surface level of the water. Whether this happened while you were inside the temple or as a result of the chamber beneath being dispelled, you're not certain. And as you exit that prison, it seems to just fade away into an empty room, the size and dimensionality of that space. But once on top, not only do you notice that it's not underwater, it's now just floating on the water, you would also notice that in its center point, on that platform down the steps from the door, there is a soul well, brightly lit, in the middle of that space. You'd also notice that your boat friend, she has docked the boat on the temple and is
You waited.
currently sitting there because you haven't taken more than 5 hours.
We're only like 3 or 4 hours, right?
Yeah, 2.5, 3, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Quick adventure.
Thanks, babe.
She stuck around. And she kind of like, as you exit out, kind of like, huh. And you can see that she's got...
I
like,
know, right?
she's got like a small fire kind of going off to the side. Not on her boat or anything crazy, that would be dumb. But she has like a small fire going and it looks like she's cooking some fish.
But it's pretty evident we've been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
That one's a ghost.
Ever seen one of those before?
Puts it on the boat, we sail, but he like stays temporarily like locked in the ethereal, so we just sail away.
I always think about that, like the planet's rotation and shit.
Yeah. Like exactly. Like
Ghost just immediately launches into space.
one of the reasons why I named the setting the Unending Spiral is if you actually look at the moon Earth system moving through space in the Milky Way, it looks like this just thing going through like what we consider space. And like it never ends, it just keeps going. And so that's always stuck with me from science class. That's how I imagine it working in the shadow. Anyway, dorkiness aside, back on the boat.
Are we
Well,
gonna
do we
get
want
Ezekiel a
to
new body?
fix Ezekiel?
Yeah.
I'll talk to boat lady, see what she wants to do. If she really needs to, she probably knows the weather patterns.
If
We need to take off right away. I understand.
if you speak to her, she would say, "Oh, you want to?" Yeah, I honestly figured I'd probably stick around for a while, and if you didn't pop back up, I would see if I couldn't get anybody interested in maybe helping you out. But I'd say about an hour or so into your departure, maybe 2. The island started to kind of lift up, and I've been trying to make heads or tails of like what's below it. So I did a bit of diving, and there were a couple of points that entered into the structure. I didn't want to try them. There was a bit of a vacuum towards the bottom, and yeah, I did some spear fishing while I was out here, and figured I'd eat something real quick before I set off. But now that you're here and you're safe, weather-wise, I think we missed the worst of it by sailing out this far. And she would kind of gesture and point kind of towards the east, northeast. It seems that the storm is probably hitting the region that you kind of came from, kind of over that a ways now. And she says, we should be fine. Sword breaks maybe a couple 8 hours or so trip, so it'd probably be best if we rested anyway.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
You gotta put a dog back together.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
involved.
Yeah.
This is something cool.
You conglomerate folk are strange lot, to be sure. Do you want any fish?
Yes.
Got anything else?
Sorry. Not really much grows out this way.
I don't want to be rude. I'll eat it.
Fine.
Kind of
That's
fish.
it's just it's a pretty common ocean fish that you could easily
Red
catch.
snapper, grouper, mahi mahi, kingfish. What do
Grouper.
you
It's
want?
probably grouper.
Oh hell yeah, that's good.
And
If Steve, you were ready.
it looks like she's caught quite a few.
Nice to have hobbies.
I'll let camp get situated. I'll reach out to DeCallis.
Okay. So load starring up, taking a long rest. Upon
Just that thing's still full of traps and zombies and glowy-eyed monsters. Don't go in there.
oh,
I wouldn't go in there.
I don't plan on
Can
it.
we cast guidance to close the door behind us, or is it stuck open?
Stuck open.
Let's just hope it sinks.
Yeah, it was floating. She says. But at least from what I could see.
That sucked.
You
Just sits down.
didn't have to go in there, you know.
Do we want to tell DeCallis everything?
Maybe not. Feel like we might get in trouble.
He might not know anything about it.
He's known everything so far. It's almost like he's the DM or something.
Yeah, it's almost like he's an insert character.
We might as well bring him up. It's not. I don't want to keep secrets from the guy.
Do you mention all of the things that happened to?
Yeah,
Dakota?
I'll just give him a rundown. Like, hey, yeah, sorry, and
He's
then
very-
this happened.
He's
Sorry.
very
again.
he's very quiet on the other side, but at the end of it, he kind of says, "That's a wild story. Definitely, not great. But
You know about Urslot and Rokash?
the name is familiar, Urslot, but not. It's not on the tip of my mind. Rakasha, on the other hand, is one of the patrons of magic. So quite an important
Gathering?
entity. I guess you could say that there was a gathering some time ago, or some time that never was. It's really complicated. Most matters that deal with
Telling me.
the Chronomancer typically are. It shouldn't pose a problem, I don't think. But if they are
He
watching,
seemed like he learned his lesson.
I do know that the creature that you mentioned, it does sound like an illithid, or a greater illithid. They are malevolent, typically, and very self-serving.
He
So-
gave me a worm.
Yeah, if you want to hold on to that, I would not suggest.
No, it's staying in the jar. It's not. I don't want to release this into an ecosystem.
I would say if you have any wax, I would seal the lid with it, just to be certain.
Doable.
And yeah, if they are allowed entry into the facial region, the T-zone,
Yeah.
they have a possibility of entering into the mind of the individual and forming a very heinous transformation into one of their own. From the sounds of it, it sounded like that is what this Urslot was offering you.
And I wouldn't be myself anymore, would I? I'd be this little feller.
I honestly don't know how Ceramorphosis would work with the Dance Eternal. It would be strange to be sure. It definitely would have been something I would have been interested in examining after the fact, but as you did not make the choice or consent to it, no need to worry about that flight of fancy.
And we got the option.
Fair enough.
So
But he
we're
says,
thinking on heading to Swordbreak.
and into the back end of Bridger or onto Aeona's?
We're going to scout the area to see what's possible.
Oh, of course.
What seems like the smartest decision from Swordbreak.
I believe Ezekiel might be interested in seeing what has happened with Renard's run. But it also could be something you'd want to make sure he doesn't see, depending on how you feel he would deal with a large amount of tragedy all at once.
Okay, he's definitely not listening. If you want to whisper me something, we'll determine if we want to expose him to.
It's wherever Ezekiel's from, according to
Right.
my records. I do believe the case would be that a lot has changed. And if anyone he knew or loved is still around, they're probably in very horrific conditions, which might obfuscate your goals in his mind. But I do hear Swordbreak's quite nice. Well, nice
I
enough.
heard
Anyway.
there's a gambling hall and some nice folks.
I had not heard about a gambling hall. So
Somebody mentioned a gambling hall.
Well, I hope they have their license.
I'm personally not familiar with that, but any updates would be beneficial. I do know that they have a skyport.
That's also neat. It's interesting to know.
Skyport being an airship port, obviously.
Is there anything else we should be aware of heading to Swordbreak? Any developments you want to share with us?
Nothing that comes to mind right off the bat. I do know that there was a bit of a kerfuffle where you just came from. It does seem that the dwarves of Ancrag have started securing more positions along the southern portions of the Raman, and they are coming to blows with the Aeonians. If you do end up back in that direction for any reason, it might be wise to try and treat with the dwarves and their dragon. Although, obviously, a dangerous matter of its own right.
Out of character, didn't those dwarves in that giant, didn't they kill Paka and those nice
Yep.
dwarves we met?
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, those guys.
The enemy of my enemy.
Still my enemy.
Can't get fucked.
We'll see.
I of course trust your
For the time being, we've agreed on passage to Swordbreak. I wouldn't want to
of course.
disadvantage our
He would make
craft.
he would make sure to note, especially for Rolling Rock, I trust the moral judgment of your group. Had I not, I would not have sent you. So, if you do not feel treating with them as a wise idea, then let them fight. We do not need to interfere. And when they have dealt a gravest blow to the Aeonians, then we will strike then at the Aeonians. But we will not turn our eye blind to the dwarves of Ancrag for their transgressions. A dragon will be a foe to fight, but perhaps it won't have as many dwarves guarding it once they have finished their squabble.
Indeed.
Oh, we got a dog to rebuild.
I can see that, he would say. And you'd actually have noted that the pilot of the ship has thrown up a couple times.
He made the ultimate sacrifice to free a
I think I described.
potentially good guy.
I think I described, well, and yourselves, but I think I described the reformation process as like Fifth Element-esque. You know,
Yeah,
which-
we start with just nerves.
Yeah, just It's gross.
I'm holding her hair back as she's leaning over the edge of the pyramid
You're puking over her shoulder.
because of the water.
It's you ate fish.
The thing I would note too for Uther, that would be noted, and it would also be noted for Rolling Rock as well. This is unrelated to the conversation with the Kellis, but as you're kind of standing on this pyramid island, the two of you can feel it move. Like, it is not structurally sound. It is
literally floating.
Everyone else does not feel that. But you two, because of your nature, because of your very kind of intertwined to the earth nature, it very much feels like you are on a boat. But for everyone else, it's fine.
Where's this bitch going?
It's not moving.
Oh, okay.
It's like a boot, gigantic.
Yeah, it's doing its thing.
Okay. I thought we were just sailing a pyramid.
Oh,
You're like,
man.
oh shit, new boat. Just
I mean,
dropped.
with
Let's
a
go.
big enough sail.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm on a pyramid.
It's going fast, and
Captain Pharaoh.
I mean, if we turned a Temple of Octavius into a boat, I know some Inquisitors that might be interested in that.
who would dare stand against us?
I
A lot of people.
I don't know.
We're gonna slam this bitch into a beach, crack the doors open, let the zombies out.
If there aren't any zombies anymore. That's gone.
Why?
They're dead.
What?
They were held together by the Ulatharad's will. They were not. Yeah,
I thought they were
bitch.
still like up and at him, just not controlled by him. That
No.
makes sense too.
they all switched off once he left.
Yeah, the wandering monsters was like the one thing keeping me from exploring that bad boy.
Well, there were still other wandering monsters and traps. The traps weren't him, and neither were like the metal men. But yeah, anyways, points aside. After your long rest, on the boat and heading towards Swordbreak, or do you have anything else that you wish to do here in
I'd like for us to go to a place we said we'd go to.
the Coentel?
Oh, we're never gonna do that.
Okay, so if we're heading out then, let's go ahead and focus in 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I need 3 because the last one doesn't count. I need 3 d20 rolls for random encounters.
8.
5.
15.
The waters are a bit choppy, but they are not anything that can't be handled by why don't I have her name? I'm going through my notes to find her
Ella.
name.
Rita.
And as I
Rahab.
continue, it only gets sweeter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can't find her in my notes. I'm actually
Fuck, I know her name.
yeah, me too. It's like right on the tip of my brain, and it's
Veronica.
Captain Whitehawk.
strangely not in my notes. I am genuinely confused.
Rutilda.
Genuinely confused.
Gargantua.
Gargantua. Well, that's what we're gonna go with for now. She's not particularly tall, but
Sturdy lass.
Bigger than me.
well, I mean, not a hard ask there. But as you move closer to Swordbreak, you can see it for its, just largeness compared to other towns and such that you've been in. It is very much just larger. It's very, very big. I'm going to bring up a map. I don't think there's anything on here you're not supposed to see. It's going to take a second to load. Like I said, it's pretty big.
That is
That's
very
big.
big.
And you
Wow,
would
where are we at?
Swordbreak. You'll be
No, I mean, like, on the map.
You'll be coming into here. So the ship will actually be sailing in and just docking there. The very first thing that you'll see upon coming to this point, checking my notes. Sorry. This is gonna be a fun session for everybody because I'm gonna be relearning stuff I wrote a million years ago. To your left, you would see that there's a shrine. Based on the symbolage, it appears to be a shrine of Aloane, the goddess of life and death. And on the opposite side of that, there are a number of buildings that are resplendent with, motion and activity. People kind of moving about. It definitely feels like a very lived-in space. The other point of interest that you'd see is this very large building directly in front of you that appears to be some kind of grand hall. Steps leading up to a massive doorway with columns. There are smokestacks kind of emanating off the top of it, some of them bent and twisted in different directions, emanating white and dark smoke from these different points. Small towers kind of up on the top. You can see settled inside of the towers guardsmen. Looking at the guardsmen, they look like they're decently armored, well-equipped individuals. Your boat would basically pull up, along the dock, probably right here or right here. It's not a very large ship, so it's not taking up a lot of space. Probably just shore up right on these steps and kind of go up. I'll go ahead and put your tokens down accordingly. So tiny. I remember testing this stuff. The pilot of the ship, she'll say to you, we're done with that business, and I've gotten you to where you needed to go. I, of course, will remain here for a while. If you wish to meet with me, speak to the priestess at the Shrine of Atavius, or Shrine of Atavius? No, it's Aloane, Shrine of Aloane. And I will be ready to receive you within an hour of you telling her you're ready to go. If you wish to leave here. If not, I will be gone in 2 days.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gargantua. You've been so helpful.
It's okay. I was trying to think of something the opposite of Gargantua to refer to you as, but... Did I get everybody on there? Is everybody on the board?
No.
It's Silas.
I see 5 tokens, not Silas, yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I have a anti-lizard bent.
How dare you?
The
Did
waters...
he grow his tail back yet?
No.
No. The waters are quite... Well, I guess he could have reformed it in the...
He could a little. Just
He could have reformed it with the
so
lodestar.
easy at the.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
It just shoots out and it's all gross and
I wish you didn't grunt while it happened.
Like Piccolo.
Absolutely more throwing up on the part of the... That's hilarious.
it's basically Piccolo getting his arm back.
So you would see that, the buildings kind of set before you are just kind of pretty common fare for what you'd expect to see alongside a dock. This appears to be a warehouse with a nearly identical warehouse opposite of it. It looks like the warehouses are on the ground level, and they go up about 3 stories. The top 2 stories appear to be residential, but it definitely looks like the spaces are very nice, very ornate. Rolling Rock, what you're noticing about Swordbreak, and it's definitely strange for you, is some of the rocks of the coastal line seem to be built up on top of spaces like the steps you came up on that look like they were built on top, or kind of rushed in on top of older construction that is beneath the waves. Like the water line might not have been this high in past epochs.
Oh, yeah, very interesting. A little bit of geographical history there for you guys. See the tectonic plates and global warming.
Ice caps.
Yeah. It's, you talk to any Vendar and they're going to say those the polar glaciers is just not what it used to be.
They're up there. They're nearby.
I'm trying to remember the northern people. In this
Darn, nailed it. Get inspiration for memory. But there are some people out here on the docks kind of working and doing busy work. The structure is directly behind them. This big-ass building. Looks like it's about 5 stories tall with balconies like ringing around the outside on each of those levels, and people kind of milling about, talking.
This big chevron-shaped building?
No. This one here is the big building I'm mentioning.
Thank you.
It's just a 5-story tall. It looks like a mall. The best way I can describe it is it looks like a mall.
Silas would sniff the air and see if he could smell any good-smelling foods. And
Briny. It's very briny. There's just like a lot of salt in the air.
Give me a minute.
It doesn't feel like anything too close to you, and the wind is all kind of pressing inwards from the sea, kind of just buffeting through the air. So you're getting a lot of ocean smells, like at this current position. Depending on where you go, it might change. It does look like there are some white smoke clouds in that tall building I mentioned. I'm trying to think of other things that might catch your eye from this position. It definitely looked like coming in, there was a bit more kind of like older style buildings kind of on this little part here, and kind of further out and away. But it looks like there are definitely, I mean, it's a town. It looks like there are different sections or districts or boroughs or what have you.
Is it pretty busy? Like a lot of people walking around?
On the port, it is. It definitely looks like it's a lot of cleanup work that's being done. It doesn't look like there are any ships in port currently, but it definitely looks like they are currently manipulating boxes and moving them into different places, onto different kind of loading carts, and they're traversing into the town or just over to these warehouses nearby.
So besides like trying to get rid of, like strike it big at Gambling Hall, was there someone or something we were doing in Sword Break, or was it the allure of gambling that brought us here?
Are we here to gamble?
Gambling was part of it, sure.
It was the
We wanted to get into civilization, so we had access to
shops.
and things, so we could practice some of our crafting.
So you guys want to
I know I'd like to resupply on potions.
Where are people congregated, John?
Well, again, in your immediate vicinity, they're either in that big building I mentioned, this building here, or they are kind of working around the dock. So kind of nearby where you're at, and also like on this position here, over on the other side near the temple, and a little bit, but not as much over here on this kind of more wooden-looking series of structures. The best way I can describe the stonework on your side, it's very stucco, very kind of weather-resistant, water-resistant materials. The wood on the opposite side looks like it is like temporary, for lack of a better, like very much it's something that's been kind of built on and restructured over and over.
I want to find a place to do some busking.
Okay.
Sounds like we were on to hit that mall marketplace if Bodhi's trying to resupply and Nix wants to try to gather a crowd. I think that'd be a good spot for quite a bit of foot traffic.
Yeah, I guess we could head for that shopping mall looking place.
Yeah, it definitely looks like most of the workers are very focused on their business. Silas, as you make your way closer to the structure,
Silas took off.
you would see that there's signage kind of pointing you in different directions. It seems that the thing that it's pointing at, the thing that you're heading to, is called the Promenade. There's also signage for other locations that might kind of catch your interest. It seems that there is a number of different shops to the west of that location, and it seems that a couple of them, name-wise, might catch your eye. One that probably stands out above the rest is a sign kind of pointing towards like the north, or sorry, the south, kind of south of where you're at, probably past this big building out that way. The name of it is the Pot and Planter. You would assume that they would probably have all different types of vegetable matter.
That does not interest me.
Fine.
It's not meat.
I mean, like herbs, spices, shit like that.
Oh, okay. That may be.
Not celery. I'm not saying.
I was like, that's not meat.
So meat is great, but meat typically tastes better when you put vegetable shit on it, and I mean like spices, herbs, these kind of things.
Probably find good salt here.
What time of day is it?
I would say probably 2-ish in the afternoon.
Okay. Just for posterity, if we do get separated, which we might, let's agree to meet here at the south end of the promenade at nightfall. That sound good?
Sure.
By the time it's dark, be here where we're standing.
I'm gonna go sniff out a new cursed sword.
All right, so be back by sundown. Got it.
Just here by sundown. We'll see if somebody look around, see if you can't find a tavern somewhere to sleep.
Well, if I could do the busking thing, I could find us a place to sleep free of charge.
Okay.
So the dock's probably not the best place because it looks like the people who are working there are kind of working for their living. They're not.
Yeah,
gonna
no, it would be a marketplace.
Sorry. I followed
Yeah.
Silas because he took off, and I'm assuming we're all kind of like, hang on.
Absolutely. So once we kind of get to this position where you're promising to meet up again, if you get split up, let's go ahead and just go through where people are wanting to go. We've got Nyx trying to perform some means of acquiring currency, which if you make sure to check, Skill Tricks covers this. So you'll need to kind of look through that to see how what you clarify or kind of call busking is actually just perform entertainment in the performance skill. And there are also other means of acquiring currency, such as cut pursing, sleight of hand. There's
It's a
Fundraising.
little early at our visit.
nobody,
Just start a crime spree.
nobody's trained in religion, but proselytize is also an option to gain currency. Yeah, there are means to acquire finances through activity.
Yeah, I guess I was even thinking less about getting money and more about finding a place to sleep. It says that such a place you receive free lodging and food.
Oh, if that's just your background, then yeah, that's absolutely fine too.
Yep. My background.
Cool,
I don't
cool,
even-
cool.
Yep. So if I find a place like a marketplace somewhere nearby, or
Yeah, the marketplace is the promenade. The promenade does not have a place where people stay, though. And what they will do is they will direct you. The Antique Rest Tea and Tap Room, which I will mark. Hold on. Is probably the place that they suggest that you go. And I am looking for it on this map. Again, sorry, I may have been a bit too
This
ambitious.
map's a little involved. You take your time.
yeah,
Number 27 on the map.
number 300
Are
on
Oh,
the
there
map.
numbers?
There are, but you only see the ones I show you. So,
Okay.
27. It's known, they say, oh, yes, the Antique Rest Tea and Tap Room. They have some places that you could probably perform, and that will take you in. I believe House Havath runs the location, and they are quite diligent in ensuring that the top class, such as yourself, are not only there, but also are engaging in fun activities for the people who stick around. It's definitely not a surly place like, anywhere untoward.
Oh, excellent. We wouldn't want that.
Of course not. Okay, so we've got Nick settled. Anybody
Do
else?
you want to try to score some money at the tavern, or are you set for now?
Who, me?
Because yeah,
Do
do you want to try some genuine busking?
Well, I mean, he's going to play with the idea of like ingratiating himself to the owner so that he can get us a free place to stay, which is the equivalent of money. I mean, if people want to throw money into a hat, which he would put down, that would
Yeah,
be
you
cool
can go
too.
beyond your skill trick. Like, you can use
I
your-
could do a performance. Sure, I would try to do a performance, right?
I will
Yeah,
say that you
United
can
States
you
of
can
Smash.
certainly try and do things, but the skill trick is the only confirmed guaranteed way that you're going to.
And
Yeah.
it was and how does it operate differently from the background?
The background is just giving you a place to stay.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. yeah, just for you. Whereas, like, if you're trying to gain capital, you would perform.
Sure, I'll do that. Perform. Yeah.
You can do both. Basically,
great.
the first one is setting up a place to do the skill trick.
So, apparently at this antique rest tea and tap room.
Yep, great. We've got positionality for Nyx. Everyone
Okay,
else.
we're just like declaring what we're
Yeah,
up to.
because we're getting later into it. We're going to be stopping
understand.
here in about 14 minutes, so I kind of want to have everyone kind of set up.
Give us an idea how far apart we're going to be spread. And
Yeah, I'll move tokens to kind of accommodate to
Uther wandered off when no one was looking.
where you had anywhere
My dude.
specific, or
Like he's known to do.
you just
He's in the dilapidated areas.
okay.
Bodhi, you're doing like actual shopping, right? Like buying and selling.
I'm asking around for a alchemist shop.
Like,
Okay.
can I give you
Anywhere
this
I can
dragon
find
glass?
ingredients.
Even if you're going to be talking to merchants, maybe you can get it appraised.
Do you want it sold, or do you just want to get pricing on
I
it?
trust that if the price is right, you'll get your money. I trust your judgment.
I'll hold it.
I don't really know what it's worth.
The people at the promenade, they have different shops that are present, but this is mostly just the promenade is like a greater general store.
right.
If it's in the player's handbook, you can purchase it here. Also, if you are searching for a common magic item, it is on offer here. All common magic items, magic items that are not consumable sell for $250. Common magic items that sell or that are consumable sell for $50. Okay. If you want a specific uncommon magic item, you can roll a D100. If it's less than 50, the item you're looking for is there, and it's 500 gold pieces. Plus the cost that it would take to make the item. So if you're like, I want to find an uncommon suit of plate armor, the plate armor cost plus 500 gold is what it would cost. Any questions on... And if you just want to see what they have on offer, you can roll a D100, and depending on what you roll, there might be an uncommon magic item at random there that you can purchase for the same costs. Any questions on the promenade's functionality, how it works? No? Okay,
Not especially.
great. When you're asking around about alchemists, they tell you, well, alchemy is a strange field. We definitely have two people who kind of focus in on that specific trade, but they kind of handle two different aspects of it. There's the Rosenthorn Apothecary, which deals mainly with the creation of tinctures and elixirs and potions. Not so much on the product. And the Pot and Planter has all different types of strange herbs and fanciful things that they keep amongst themselves. It's great for cooks, but also great for potion makers. I believe the Rosenthorn actually gets most of its stock material from the Pot and Planter. Other person says, yeah, that's right. I heard that too.
Okay. I suppose I'll head towards the pot and planter first
Okay.
to get an idea of what's available as far as being an alchemist.
Now, Silas, the smells in the promenade are very good, like here. There's still the sea breeze, but there's definitely cooks that are present here in the promenade. And it does seem that there might be a couple of other places to the west of where you're located that would be similar. And based on the signage, it seems that this region, this kind of section, which I'll kind of do a quick tracer of, everything kind of surrounding the promenade, this is known as the shops. That's just the name of the district.
I would head to where the food is, honestly.
Okay, going into the promenade.
Yeah.
Okay. We already got Uther heading off, wandering, doing his own thing. Love it. And then I think we're just rolling rock and Ezekiel at current, right?
Yeah.
I guess my first question would be: is there a Brewers Guild house in this city?
Brewers Guild. So they would say that there's no guild available here. The only place that they would say that there's any brewing really going on is a place called Big Bang's General Store, and it's actually not in the store's district, as most of the alcohol that's on offer in Swordbreak is brought in from different places. They say that the only person who really kind of cultivates their own is a gnome named Big Bang, who is located. Big Bangs is number.
Or we just met that guy like 1,000 miles north of here.
There are a lot of Big Bangs, and no, that wasn't a Big Bang. He was related to a Big Bang. He mentioned that. I know who you're talking about.
Who are you talking about?
John just repeated use of names.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But no, the gnome that you didn't meet but were trying to meet, there was mention of relation. But yeah, 10 is here. Hold on. Come on now, computer. Add token. Do you see 10?
Let me zoom out. But yeah, before I head over there, I do want to use the gather information skill check because it only takes, since it's just an hour. And yeah, so it says I can try to gather information, and then I will try to. It says I can use some gold to try to grease the wheels and to help with the skill check. So I'll do that. I'll throw some.
Absolutely.
Buy some drinks for some folk, or buy them for their breakfast while trying to talk with them.
This is persuasion, correct?
Persuasion, yeah.
Go ahead and make a persuasion roll. You have advantage for the roll.
Hooray! Oh fuck. 21.
Very good. Okay, so here's some information that you'll basically glean. That's just kind of static information that's available. And then I will, between now and next session, I will send you a handout with a bit more specific, nuanced, detailed matter. So there is a place that is not well liked by most of the people you've been talking to in the promenade. Okay, and that place is known as the Beached Whale. The Beached Whale is a ship that ran aground a ways away and was a ship of quite a sizable nature that has been converted into a casino by a thieves guild known as the Red Apples. They say that they get their name from their leader, a man who has a very strange-looking sore upon his face that is kind of bright red and apple-like. Very, very strange-looking fellow.
Isn't that a blast from the past? That's an old one, right?
We do. Well, the guy's name was different, actually, but yeah, similar.
Okay.
Similar problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Red Apples, keep to themselves, but it is reported that they are coming into town and causing issues for certain vendors and merchants. And when they say reported, they mean more rumored. So not a lot of folks in town like them, and the guard are too scared to go out into kind of the jungle area to find the boat and put an end to them. But people still go out there and gamble because it's a hell of a show. It's a very cool place, according to some of the people you talk to here. Let's see, what other information? People have been kind of disappearing, going missing, which is strange, to be sure. But a lot of people take it to account that they're probably leaving and heading away from this area because a number of attacks have happened on Swordbreak's kind of northern guard stations by Ionian riders. So a lot of the townsfolk have been nervous, and that display of nervousness has probably caused some people to kind of disappear, just leave without telling anybody. Although some people you might talk to here with that role might think it's something a bit more malicious. Something bad might be happening here. And let's see, last thing that you'd get with that. The houses that reside inside of Swordbreak are very much focused on kind of maintaining their own power over certain elements in Swordbreak. There's a silver mine. There's fishing gambit. There's the sky trade through the skyport. There's sea trade through the seaports. There's also whatever the halflings are doing on the south side of the town, which is kind of the far kind of southwest. You can see there on the map. Whatever they're doing, they keep to themselves. as halflings are wont to do. But you would know that they have a shrine out that way, and they kind of keep to their own yurts. They're a traveling people, but they don't travel often, so he says. They mostly just sit around and don't do anything. And then I think that's it. That's it on rumors. There's, kind of the houses are kind of independently kind of kept to themselves. There's a total of 6 of them. And they kind of do their own thing. One kind of maintains watch over the guards, one maintains watch over the shops, one maintains watch over the mines, one maintains watch over the fishing in the ports, the seaports, one maintains kind of position over the sky ports, and then the halflings. So that'd be all 6 of the houses there. Any questions about anything I just shat out there?
No, sounds good.
And
Got a lot of process.
I'll throw you a lot of side handouts that will basically just reestablish what I said there. I just need to cultivate my notes to a point where I can transfer that to you. And so you're doing...
Ezekiel.
I'm not Ezekiel. Would you like to go with anyone specifically? Obviously, Uther's out of the question. He just fucking ninja vanished.
Ezekiel's just going to kind of look for like a blacksmith shop, more like, weapons and armor type deal. Because he's also, got smithing tools, so he's interested to see like what kind of weapons and stuff they got, see if he can unload some of the extra stuff he's got on him.
I presume that conversation happens in and around the same kind of space as Bodhi and Rolling Rock as they were inquiring where these things are. So once you're told where they're located, you're told that there are actually 2 locations that deal with metalworking. There's the blacksmith, and the blacksmith is just called the Swordbreak Blacksmith. And you would kind of get from the gist of these people talking to you that this mainly deals with like cultivating weaponry, arms and armor, or not armor, just arms, and also cultivating kind of like things that are needed just typically from a blacksmith, right? That would be number 14. And then next to that is the Bunder Armory, and it's literally the building right next to that, where they basically sell a lot of the implements that are crafted by the blacksmith. And they also sell armors that they get from other sources. So you're told.
Okay. I'll go to the armory first.
I'd similarly pass him the 2 of the jars of flow steel to see if there's anything he wants to do with those.
Cool.
2 of the 3.
Yeah, if we're all if I know he's going to the armory, I'd give him the adamantine and see if he wants to try to use their forge for anything. Might as well have it.
I would say that Ezekiel, if you want to just go direct, it does seem like Bodhi and Rolling Rock would have inquired about where to go from probably the same group or types of people. So you would have gathered that information kind of collectively together, as Nyx was also kind of gathering where, he could go to kind of get a setup. Silas basically is one of those motherfuckers who lets the smell trail kind of guide him to where he's going, as he just kind of floats along to whatever building he's going to.
Yeah, he's floating towards a windowsill pie.
And you see Uther in the back like throw a smoke bomb and just like is gone now, or just like he does one of those things like, oh, yeah, something, points over there, and then just runs away as everyone turns and looks back at him.
Nah, he just turned around and casually walked away while they were talking.
But yeah,
I trust him.
Just to reconfirm, we have kind of...
If anyone's going to get mugged in this town, it's me.
heading in these directions. Rolling Rock gathering information first and foremost, then moving to the brewers. We got Ezekiel heading towards the blacksmith/armorer. We've got Nyx heading towards the tea room to convene with nobility and also get a place for you all to stay. We have Uther heading around the poorer neighborhoods, checking those out. We have Silas eating and consuming the delicious fare of the promenade. And we have Bodhi heading to you said, not the apothecary, the pot planter, right?
Pot planter.
All right, perfect. See you folks next time. We'll pick up next week. Ciao.